Chicago. Ben, great to see you. What did you make of the news that at federal level we could see a reclassification or at least decriminalization of marijuana across the United States?
Sure, yeah, thanks for having me. Big moment yesterday. We see it as a major change and the beginning of the new era, really, in U.S. cannabis. You have the executive branch and the Fed and the President of the United States talking about descheduling, talking about pardons, and finally talking about getting people out of jail. It's a major moment for the industry and for the thousands and thousands of people that work in the industry and that have been hurt by the industry and that are doing well in the industry. All of us celebrate together.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know that marijuana has been decriminalized in many states in the United States. That being said, the fact that you don't have sort of a blanket approach to the way that marijuana is classified or that it's allowed to be used has been difficult for companies. Could you explain what that's been like? Because most companies have had to list in Toronto, for example, not allowed to list in the United States, and also doing business cross states has also been tricky.
Sure, it's a very complex industry, and we think this is a catalyst for clarity, and investors like clarity. But the setup is it's federally illegal, yet various states have a legal cannabis program.
Yeah.
So there are companies in the United States called MSOs, or multi-state operators, of which Green Thumb is one of the larger operators, in which we operate legally within each state's system. But there is no cannabis that crosses state lines. So you operate within each system according to that state system to hire local jobs and pay a lot of taxes. That's going very well. There's over 400,000 U.S. citizens working in the cannabis space, and it's generating tax revenue on a state-by-state basis that's larger than alcohol. All the while the federal government has said it's illegal, people are in jail, you can't use the credit cards, and stock listings happen on smaller exchanges without access to most investors.
Yeah, and that's really fascinating. I mean, I want you to give me a sense of what kind of law you would like to see come into place, because there's one thing to decriminalize, allow people to use marijuana recreationally within their own property, for example, versus medical cannabis use. And of course, it's never going to be black and white. There's going to be a gray area. What do you think the messaging should be?
Yeah, I mean, the top line should be nobody should be in jail for nonviolent cannabis offenses whatsoever. So everybody should be out of jail.
Yeah.
And the second is massive access. There needs to be new people allowed in the industry. There needs to be access to capital. And companies like Green Thumb that operate in the United States that sell products that Americans know, like Rhythm and dog walkers, need to be listed on U.S. exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. That'll allow American investors and international investors access to these companies. And so will fuel American capitalism into what should be a $70 to $80 billion space in the United States.
I want you to give me a sense in terms of when there's decriminalization, and by the way, when South Africa, where I come from, did this, there was a huge change in perception of usage, right? And it was major destigmatization that occurred. Do you think that this is going to be the route that we'll see in the United States as well?
I think it'll be continued momentum. I think we've hit the tipping point of destigmatizing, yet it still exists. And so there'll be continued momentum on this really tidal wave of U.S. cannabis. But there's certainly a lot of stereotypes. There's a lot of racial disparity. There's a lot of lack of access. And so this is continuation of a more normalization of a product that actually brings a lot of people a lot of well-being and that actually helps a lot of people live better.
All right, Ben, thank you so very much. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Kovler there.